Hey there, I'm Vidya and I really welcome you here. And what simply I do on LinkedIn or anywhere else in the social media platform is helping people make money from their DMs, inboxes, independent of what platform they are working on. It could be Instagram, it could be LinkedIn, it could be anywhere else where a inbox platform exists. Why? Because the DM strategy or the DM flow or how you close money in the DMs is same. The way you close money there, the way you talk to people, and how you bring in prospects, way you share them the lead magnets, you converse with them, share the offers, and eventually close the deal. It all comes down to sell by chat, and it can be done on WhatsApp, LinkedIn inboxes, or anywhere else. So, if you're new to my world or if you don't know me, just check out this video. It might be for 10-15 minutes. Though I cannot justify sell by chat in just 15 minutes, I will be doing my best to make sure that till the time you finish this video, you take away something from here and you will be motivated to come into my world, know more, learn more, give me feedback a little more, and enjoy chatting with people and closing some money for you as well. So when we talk about sell by chat, let's start with it what it means by that. The name itself tells you everything. That is sell by chat. So chatting could be anywhere. It could be your WhatsApp, it could be talking to your friend in LinkedIn DMs, it could be Instagram, it could be you can have the automation on. It doesn't really matter. But the human psychology and the selling has been same. Anything can change in the business world, but the human mind remains same from so many decades and years there. So sell by chat hasn't changed as such. When I teach this method to my students and my clients as well, or I do it for them and I show them, most of my time goes around just explaining how the mind is working on the hindsight, and you should make sure what goes behind all this so that you know what is going on in the mind of your prospects. So the first thing that you really have to know is where they are coming from. So that is what I call the PHDM theory. It's just something I've built for my own fun. But imagine water, right? There are at least 5 to 6 stages where you can define it. And you'll find the very same thing in Sell by Chart and the mindness of your prospects into your world. Water, take it, right? It's freezing cold right now. It's ice, right? So your prospect is freezing cold right now. They don't know about you, they don't know who the heck you are, they don't know what you offer or where you are from. Why have you even started this chat with them? They don't know anything there. That is freezing cold stage number one. If I come to stage number two, it's more about chilled state. A water bottle in the refrigerator. That's what I'll call. It's chilly, it's not so freezing cold, but now they know a bit about you. Maybe they have known your name once or twice from somewhere else. Maybe their ears perked up, maybe listening your name. That's it. There is no other way of just juggling together. Then you come to the lukewarm stage. Lukewarm is room temperature. They may know about you, they may have heard maybe a bit about you here and there, and it's regular in pattern. And that is why it's lukewarm or room temperature. It's like sitting with a bunch of people in the same room. Maybe you don't know, but you are in the same room. That's what my theory says. Now we go on to a little hot. This is maybe you both are connected, you both are watching each other's content, you are seeing what you offer, etc. etc. But you haven't really communicated a lot there. So that is what I call the hot, when you really start boiling up the water. And now the last stage comes, that is boiling hot water. That is when they are ready to have you. Maybe they want to hire you, they want to purchase a product from you, or they read your email and they want to purchase your next offer doc. That's what's boiling hot. So when you see, this is what I call the pH scale. If you see a pH scale, there are level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's how your prospects also are in the DMs. Most of us certainly just don't recognize that it happens even. So here I'm going to take across the pH scale and all the various stages that can help you. Please remember, this pH scale is everything for you. This is the most basic and very important thing that people just forget about, and they randomly put slap, and then boom, you get ghosted. So if you are, maybe let's say you dropped a connection request, there could be different ways a person enters your world as well. It could be a lead magnet. Maybe they opted in for a lead magnet. They commented, you shooted them through the inbox, and you send them the lead magnet. They opted in for it. It could be maybe you sent a connection request and they entered your world. Maybe they saw another post about you. It could be them. Maybe they saw another creator posting about you. It could be that. Maybe they were secretly reading your emails. I have had students joining my cohort because they were just not bold enough to comment or to DM me, but they were secretly reading all of my posts and emails there. So you never know where your prospect could be watching you from. It's your duty to realize where they land in the PH scale. Let me give you some examples. Let's say they opted in for your lead magnet and they booked 2 calls from it. Can you imagine the level of trust and blind faith that person will have for you? They'll be like, oh my god, she let me book 2 calls which I wasn't able to do in 6 months. You are my god here. This is what the prospect feels. If you give them the outcome without taking anything from them, you are kind of that. But let's say somebody was just reading your post for 1 minute every single day. If they were regular, fortunately, right? The pH scale is very chilled right now. Even if they like your content, it would be between chilled and lukewarm only. They're not going to be hot prospects that you can actually lead them to buy. So let's say, for example, you dropped a connection request. So you can say, hey, name, came across your profile, saw you're an e-com selling ABC, whatever they are selling. Quick one, Ryan, are you currently working towards filling up your July cohort happening on 10 June? Or just trying to suggest more clients on LinkedIn? There are many elements to this first message, and if you really don't go bold, don't go smart with your first message, you lost them. Basically, I feel like first impression is the last impression. If you cannot make me feel interested towards what you said, I'm not gonna be likely coming back to your chat. There is first thing, name. We as humans are tapped in by a first name. If you have a crowd and if you shout my name, Vidya, I'll be towards you. I'll turn my heads 90 degrees towards you and I'll be saying, what happened? My name has a psychological connection to me. So don't always say, hey, this, hey, that. Take their name. Take their name. Please do it. Everybody loves their name. Everybody loves when people really take the initiative of writing their name. First name, that's all, right? The second thing that we are happening is that we have to look smart enough. Now, there are two things that I always remember when I am even chatting. Two things: be like a curious child who even doesn't know. Imagine like you don't know about fire. Be that curious. Like, hey, what's that? What's the color of that? What's called? That's what you have to be. But you cannot be dumb in the DMs. Imagine that you have come to me, you want to pitch your services right in the end, let's say, and you don't know anything about me. You didn't even have some time to go through my profile, what I sell for. You didn't even have time to check my website. Then why are you here? I'm not a prospect then. You are just shutting me off as a cold DM or a cold email. This is not what I'm for. If you want this DM to work, make sure it carries some warmness of research. You can at least go to their profile, check their headline, check their experience, check what they are doing. Maybe they posted about something. Come off researched, but as a curious child. It is just like being a mad scientist. They know all the science, but they still want to research. They still want to get out what's in that, what will be the result like. This is what you actually have to be like. Second, and the third most important thing, I think right now you have to remember, after each of your replies should carry A or B question. What I mean by that is, we as human tend to be confused with a lot of choices. We will have a choice paradox. Imagine you are in a cloth store and they give you a lot of options. When you go for shopping, what happens? You have so many options that you are blinded and you are spinned. That's what happens when you just ask your client, hey, what's going on? Like, what do I answer to that? Are you asking my company revenue? Are you asking how's the weather like? Are you asking why the hell I'm talking to you even? What are you asking? Be specific. Be specific. Look like you have done your work. If I'm going to reach out to a personal branding expert, let's say Lara Costa, right? Let's imagine I was reaching out to her 3 years back. I could have asked her, hey Lara, came across your profile and saw you are really a badass copywriter here or a personal branding expert. Quick one, Lara. I will break up this message. The very important thing that you have to remember is when you break up the sentences, right, it looks non AI. It looks like this is something AI cannot do, and that's what you want. You don't want to look AI. So make up one, two, three, four, keep on pressing enter. The reason is that it looks broken up and it looks like it has been typed real time. So it looks like, oh, this person is sitting live and talking to me. Then I would, in the second line, write, quick one, Lara, are you currently working towards filling up your December cohort on personal branding that's going to start at 8 December? Or are you just trying here to get more clients? I would just ask her that. Another question could be, hey, are you currently working towards just building your brand or getting leads from LinkedIn? Why this works is that you don't want to let them stray away from answering me. This is the first objection you're going to ask. What's on their mind? What's something that's troubling them? So that's what you have to ask. If you keep it open ended, they are going to give you open ended answer. Don't expect them to tell their trauma story without you actually asking, hey, what was it like? I would love to hear from you. This is what you want to say. You just don't want to be like, hey, how have you been? I don't know how to answer that. 99% of people don't really know how to answer that. So don't ask it. Ask your specific objection. If they are an e-com owner, just say that, hey, are you trying to get up purchases for your Shopify store high or just here starting to build a brand on LinkedIn? You need to know where their priority are. Simply as that. If you can't get this correct, you're going to lose them firsthand. Another variations could be, now this is my script which I keep it time to time. Now I'm really well versed with it. I don't really open it. But just for my guidance, sometimes even teaching my students through it, it comes up as a very personal script. So I teach it with them. So this can really work for you. Hey name, saw your recent post about blah blah blah. It could be anything but be specific. Hey Lara, I saw your lead generation post and which was talking about slave framework. That's her content framework. Slave framework. What is it about? It really, really helped me in writing my first post today. Super solid take. Are you using LinkedIn to generate leads? Option A. Or is it more about brand awareness for you? Option B. When you keep it packed, they are only deemed to choose between A or B, and your work is done. You wanted Lara to choose A or B. That's it. Sometimes people could say both also. It's wonderful for you. So it's now your duty to ask relevant objection and give relevant options as well. Hey Name, notice you are in e-commerce. I don't practically use this. I always pick out something very relevant from their DMs, from their profile, from their post, something specific, and I write about it. It should feel personal enough. Like I took time to go through their profile and it looked like I care. Simple. So this is how you start the convo all fresh. This could be after a lead magnet. This could be after you drop the connection request. Anything. No matter where the source is, you can drop this. The second thing, or the very first thing, or maybe in the middle of the conversation, when maybe we are chatting very heartily and lightly, you don't do this when you're having a serious conversation. When a person is sharing about losses, trauma, and a sad story, you don't do this. Please don't do this. Imagine you are crying in front of your best friend and she shows you the meme. Like, what the heck that happened? You don't want to do that. So, what I do is I share my pictures after the first message or the first follow up, just for that. Either it could be after the first message, maybe they replied, and maybe either after the first follow up. What does picture do? Why do I have to send my picture? And there are certain rules for it also. Please make sure that the situation is light right now, it's laughable, it's not heavy, it's not sad, traumatic, etc. They are not. Don't interrupt them. That's the second thing. Third thing, it feels very personal. If you see all these pictures, right, I'll show you all these pictures. These are practically selfies and it looked like it was taken in real time. You can take it in real time if you don't have a store like this. We all click selfies time to time. So why not make a file of it and you keep it all there? You download it whenever you have to send it to someone. For one very big creator I worked on LinkedIn, especially closing for him in the sell by chat, we used to do this. He used to have a whole Notion doc filled with his pictures, and we used to click send it to the prospect. Hey Ryan or hey Lara, just working upon my file or was just reading this book. Maybe you can show off your notepad or something like that. Or maybe you are in the park, or maybe you're walking your dog. Just click their picture and just make it very real time. Even if it's not real time, you should make it look real time. So you can see here are my pictures, etc., etc. And the second message has to come as a follow up, like, hey, just finished up setting up my new table right now. Or hey, look at this cute dog, right? Or just put up my very favorite quote right at the back of my wall. Or look at these cuties right here. Hey, was just taking a morning walk with this. Simple as that. Look at what a glorious weather it's like. Or look how cheeky I look, etc. You will have to make it sure you look like a friend there, right? And sometimes you will get always good replies to these. Pictures are really very hard to ignore because most people just don't take care of it. They don't bother about it. Like, who the heck will send the picture? Yes, it makes me connect with the prospect. It makes them go from lukewarm to hot with me. I'm being a friend to them. I'm not being the seller, like, hey, take this, take that. You don't have to be that. Then comes qualifying and nurturing. Now, how you go about it, and it's one of the most misunderstood stage. If you see qualifying, nurturing, cross questions, and the big five questions that I have written here, I'm not going to show them right here in front of you, but I can show you the cross questions. Hey, what's the most frustrating part about selling on Amazon for you right now? Not just the usual stuff. What's the thing that actually keeps you up at night? Now, if you don't know how to take these out, or you say, hey, Vidya, I don't really know how the heck I write an objection, or how the heck do I even get such good questions, you need to opt in for my ideal client and niche finder GPT. It will be there in my website. You can go to my profile. It's a free thing. Grab it. It has a 115-minute Loom VSL. Me working for my ICP. It will give you a really relevant context how to do it. So grab it now. It's free, $0. Please opt in for that. It has the prompt. It has my VSL. You can have it. It's lifetime. You ask them the objections that you would like to clarify. If you would like to know their revenue, if you would like to know how much ticket they are costing, how much off a ticket it is, how well they are doing in their business, are they suffering losses or something, are they a solopreneur or do they have a team. Let's say I have these five objections. How am I going to ask? Like, hey, are you working solo or do you have a team? The content that you're putting, it really looks like team effort has been going on. Even if solo, I really appreciate you. It takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of efforts. This is how you frame a question and reaffirm the pace that you have. Please make sure while in the conversation, keep on reaffirming. That is the most important thing for you to do. You cannot just let it go without even saying appreciate it. That really means a lot. That takes guts to say. You are so honest with you. I really appreciate you sharing that. I know how that feels. I have been there. Even if you, only if you have been there. If you really sympathize with the situation and if you really connect. Let's say you both have experience in losses. Then you can say, hey, I really know how it feels. Then say, in my first venture, it really happened. Don't try to be melodramatic and explain your situation. Always, always, always let them talk. Let them talk, let them vent. You just have to be their therapist who is silenced. Nobody else. You just have you ever seen therapists? They ask brilliant questions. When you ask brilliant question, you're going to get brilliant answers. You'll get everything you need. We as humans are tended to pull out when somebody strings us. If I'm really going through a phase, if I'm not doing very well in business or in life, and if somebody asks, hey, I really know you're having it hard right now, can I help you? I'm here, I can listen to you. Just tell whatever you can. I'll be here, no judging. Simple. And they just start shedding their tears. That's what you want. There has to be someone who has to take the volunteership of getting their objections out, and those objections is now your offer which you'll present. If they are suffering from lead gen, you will be giving an offer of lead gen right in the end. That's how objections are done. So in that GPT, you'll see me getting all of the objections out. So, encouragement and validation, like this is very important. You have to reaffirm. The way I would like to say is that this is reaffirmation. Please reaffirm them time to time. Don't be cheeky about it, don't be cringy. Just start being the very introverted friend. The way I say it is that, hey, that makes sense. I totally get you. I know where you're coming from. That really takes guts to say out loud. I really appreciate you. That's the thing you want to affirm at. Encourage them, validate. You reaffirm first and then you do it. Lay off the foundation, lay off that trust foundation. You don't want to be the ignorant ex. Please don't do that. Please don't do it. Just focus on what they are trying to tell you. That's it. Their answer is your next objection. Like, hey, I'm working as a solopreneur. I don't really have a team. This is something I have been struggling with. I don't know how to really set up a team. Let's say you were selling a team B or someone, and you say, hey, I mean, it's not that hard, but how have you researched about it? I have been there. Is there some way I can help you right now? Or maybe where have you actually found your VA? Was it really struggling? You can just explain it to me. Their answer is your next objection. As simple as that. Most people just don't realize. They feel like they need more questions. What they need is listening to their answer, reading it again and again, and then drafting your next question in accordance to it. Two things it does: makes them feel heard, and it makes them feel noticed that okay, she is really concerned about what am I facing right now. This is what you have to do for them. The next thing comes objection handling. This is the very same, but here it comes a little twist. When they start doubting your confidence, or they start doubting your testimonials, or they start doubting your worthiness in investment, that is when you have to be an expert. Now, A very tricky point to note here: you don't have to be the extrovert cringe. Don't be that. You have to be the scientist who can tell me what's a periodic table in just one line. Periodic table is my offer, and one liner is my offer. So you have to really know that this is major thing what people get wrong is if you tell me a lot, I will feel ego towards you. Most people do that. I have seen that happening in the DMs. Oh, you're trying to teach me. Oh, you think I don't know. People will not say that out loud, but they'll just mentally check out and they know you were trying to teach them. You were trying to tell them subconsciously that they don't know about it. No person wants to look underconfident by you making them feel that they don't know about it. It's really the worst thing you can do for in the DMs or while chatting. Don't make them feel dumb. The worst thing. Make them feel like, oh, this is something I missed. Oh, you clarified it. Clarify. Don't be the teacher who is trying to teach them all the time. You don't have to be that. So for objection handling, when you really have to tell them, let's say you have an e-com offer, how can you say like that? Hey, maybe they ask you, hey, what do you do? Or I really don't understand, or I don't believe that. Should I be talking with you, etc. You can say, I don't just run ads. It's high intent buyers, people who are ready to purchase, not just window shopping. Most e-com brands struggle because they are caught up in guesswork, running insufficient ad, blah blah blah. Your pain. Maybe they were suffering something and you brought out their pain. And here's what I do differently: dial in your ad strategy, optimize your storefront, build a back-end profit system. You only write this like in this manner only when they have the doubt. You don't do this anywhere else in the chat. Only when they have doubted, don't take it on your ego first of all. They have all the right to doubt you. Very, very uncommon that sellers don't understand it. They don't know who the heck were you out of the 8 billion people that are there. You have come to me. I don't know you. Explain me. Simple as that. Now, don't go the very defense mode. You just have to be calm, the sigma male that you can be, or the woman, and just explain that, okay, this is what I do, this is what people struggle, and this is how I do it, the method for it. If I have to tell you, if you doubted me, hey, what the heck is sell by chat, I can say like, hey, I know many people just struggle with making money in their DMs. They don't even know how to DM. I just tell them that. I just had a call with a prospect yesterday, and she just called me right off. She got my number from LinkedIn. And I just say that very simply, I just help people make money from their DMs. Simple as that. How simple could it be, right? I didn't even say sell by chat. Most people won't even understand. And she was a Gen X. So I had to explain, like, hey, I just help people making money from DMs. Simple. So be the guide, tell them what's there, and then they can take the decision. Now the offer type clarification is that this is more of an objection, like, hey, I'd love some clarity, are you looking for some more hands on? This happens when they don't know what to take from you. I have had this experience from a very long time. People don't know what to take from you. Maybe you have multiple offers, one on one, cohort, course, and something like that. You need to be the person to get their needs. Maybe some people don't have the budget. So you have to say them, hey, what's your budget like? I can really guide you towards the best option, and this is what you can opt in for. And then maybe if you earn some money from it, you can upgrade to this and that. Simple. Upsell them as well. Give them the guideline, give them the roadmap. Then comes the follow-up memes. That is, if if they didn't answer, or if you were really stuck at the conversation, you just send them very light-ended memes. Not all the time, place. The mood has to be light, right? Me following up. So these are 4 to 5 things that I use for following up. The way I went viral on LinkedIn was by meme comments. So that is the style that I have carried from a very, very long time. Even if in my lead magnets everywhere else, you will find a meme for sure. So, scarcity nudge. Now, I really hate when you fake urgency 24 hours before the prices drop. Even if you read my post, I never write that. I could get someone at the right end of the hour and they could really want that thing and they can come in, let's say my cohort. So why would you do that? Just say just a heads up, this closes in X hours and when the first 12 grab up. No stress if it's not for you. This disarms them. When you say this might be not for you, now they want to mentally check it out. But I'd hate for you to miss out if you were considering it. So you are now being considered. Hey, do you want a straw with your coffee? Just simple. Keep it simple. Let me know or cheers, heads up. And here you can again send it your picture. Like, hey, was just working upon my next lead magnet called content code. It's Lara's, but it just popped up. Testimonials, you have to send them at least maybe one two. If they doubt, you can send up a screenshot, you can send up a loom video, or you can send anything that you have. I have a wall of love. If you go to my website, you can check it out, read it all day. I have a bajillion of screenshots there, loom bsls, recordings with my clients who worked with me and how they felt after it. You can embed it there in the chat. It could be WhatsApp, LinkedIn, no matter where it is. And you can just say, hey, Sarah was just like you. She was struggling with just 2K with her e-commerce store. Now she is doing 200K every single month. And we just applied the e-com profit store formula to her. Would you like a 2-minute VSL to know how it can work for you? Would love to show it up. Simple. This is how testimonial work. You reaffirm that, oh, it has worked for somebody. They are not faking it. And then you are considerate enough. Maybe you can ask a and B question. So just like Sarah, are you really working upon expanding your team or do you really want to work as you are right now? Keep it that way. Now the next come is sending the offer doc. Most people just don't know when to send the offer doc. Offer doc is another question, but when to send? I'll just say till the time you have reached the pH scale hot, the level hot, between hot and boiling, you don't do it. It's a blunder of DMs as I call it. If you are really in stage one of chillness with me, do you really think you will buy anything from me? What I have seen, I have experimented. They don't buy. It's as simple as that. Even if the conversation was so good, they will not buy it. They are not ready. I didn't come to the shop right now to purchase a t shirt. I just came to get ice cream for the roadside. That's all. Why are you pushing the t-shirt in my face? I don't want to. But the day I need a t-shirt, I'll come to you because I remember the store. Simple as that. It's a very good post. I think the only thing I remember for Justin Welch, he posted about it that when people need you, they will come to you. When people don't need you, they will not even respond to you. Do you have your friends that come back to you when they really need you for something? Do you have those relatives? Do you have other colleagues that only come to you when they need something from you? It's not a particularly a bad thing in most of the cases, but when people need you, they'll come to you. You have to understand it. Law of nature. Even you do it. Even I do it. Awesome. I have put everything in a private doc, not something I put out publicly. Now, even if you offer is for everyone, you can just say that, hey, I just put it right now, looking at your needs, and this is not something I do publicly. It's not publicly out. It makes them feel like, oh, this is something special for me. You have to make them feel like it's their birthday. So you do it. Here's the link. Please make sure the access is open. It's a Notion doc, it's a Google doc. Especially with Word docs, I see this glitch happens. You don't open the access. Worst thing that can happen right now. You could be closing a deal and they could just back out by that. There is no person who has the leisure of time to tell you 10 times, hey, the access isn't open. Please keep the access open. Very important thing that you can miss out. So please keep your offer doc once and keep it open. Keep the link same. Another thing that you have to remember is that keep the link same. It could be that you are making multiple offers or something like that. But with me, my one-on-one, the link stays same. Reason being, let's say I proposed the offer doc 2 weeks back. After 2 weeks, you got some time and you were really going through your DMs. You saw my offer doc. You really want to read that day. The access wasn't open, or the link said error 404. Blunder of the DMs that you can do. This is just like putting a hammer into your phone. Don't do that for yourself. And the only thing that can really relieve you from this is keep a link in your notes. One on one offer doc, here's the link. Retainer offer, here's the link. This and that. And you can keep on changing the Word doc, Notion file, Gamma file, whatever the heck it is. And I would rather suggest you not to really poke up the fake urgency. It really doesn't matter. It really matters to their needs. Do they really need your solution? If you can't really tell them that, it's not really worth it to fake the agency. Most people are just faking the agency. Of course, if you're a top creator, you are filled out. But for most of the people, we fill out slowly, slowly, slowly. Don't try to fake it. You are just chopping up your own money, nothing like that. Then you come to the, if they say not right now, all good. You don't have to be defensive. You don't have to block them. Don't take it on your ego. Just say, hey, all cool. I know this might not be the right fit for you right now, but anywhere else, if you need any help, please let me know. Here's a lead magnet. I just put it out and I think this could help you. Always come up with the value, leave with value. When you go to someone's home, come with a gift, go with a gift. Simple. I'll keep in the loop for anything else that could be useful for you. If you ever want to chat where you are at, just give me a shout. I'm just one DM away. Just be super nice about it. Don't make them feel guilty. Most people are intimidated to say no, and that's why they ghost you. So don't be that person who intimidates them. Just say, "All cool. It happens." Not everyone is meant to take your offer. You have to realize this basic psychology of offers and DMs. Your offer is not according to the needs of 8 billion people, but it might be for 10, 1,000, 100. So sell to them. Let's say you are logged in, you like the offer, you would like them to jump on a call. You can say just simple as that, like chat booking. If we log in 45-minute chat, I get a better idea for your business and what you need. Then I can shoot over the exact price structure. Now, most of the times, I really don't reveal the price if we are having a call. If I'm just closing in the DMs, I will give the price in the offer doc. But let's say you want to hold off a call, especially when you're starting out in an industry. Hold calls, take as many calls as you can. It will give you a lot of experience. Closing in the DMs front to back is just another level that you have to do with Sell by Chat. It's not impossible, but it takes a lot of chats, a lot of iterations from your side. After the chat, now this is what I call the 3 step reminder trio. This is in most of my lead magnets if you opt in for. There are 3 stages how you have to remind them that the call has been set. The first reminder comes right after you book a call. Let's say your call is booked for tomorrow 11 a.m. and there are 24 hours left for it. First, or the first tier or the first stage of the pyramid says, just give them something to watch there, or just remind them that how good of a decision they have made. Just say, hey, all cool, we are all set. I have put you into my calendar. We'll meet tomorrow right here, or maybe you are going to chat, you're going to call, etc. I would highly recommend you to watch this video to get more of idea what I do. Let's say I'm booking a call. This is the video I'll send them to them because this is me recording all Sell by Chat. So I could send them that, hey, this will let you know more about what I do, what I don't do, and let's meet tomorrow. Cheers. The second reminder or stage two that happens is after at least 6 or 7 hours. Now, this could be either of the two things. Either you send them a lead magnet or you be the friend. You send them a lead magnet like, hey, I just found something real nice for you in my lead magnet Notion file. Put the link. This could really help you right now. See how it works. Let me know how is it. The third stage is right before the call, 60 minutes before the call to be specific. 60, 70 minutes or something like that, maybe 2 hours, maybe between 1 to 2 hours before the call. You say, hey, just a heads up, we are meeting in 60. Let me know if you have anything that I can take care of. Just prepare this file. Maybe I can capture a screenshot of their pitch deck. Maybe if I'm preparing some, so excited, I've put in so much efforts. What this does is it makes them guilt trip. Okay, this person is really working for me. I need to be present on calls. Most people can DM very well. They can book calls, but they can't really increase their show up rates, which is very, very important. The best thing you can do is make them feel guilty of not showing up. Hey, I just put in so much efforts and I'm so excited to have you look at that, and I want to see your reaction, how it can work out for your company. Just keep it very simple, basic. So this is the 3 tier thing that you can go forward with. This video has been super long, but if you have stayed till now, really appreciate you. uh, Pre-prep call by message, I've already explained that to you. If they haven't taken action yet, let's say after the call even happened, if they told you like, hey, I'll tell you, most of the time what I like to do is finalize the deal right in the call. But let's say you want to give them some time there. What you can say, hey name, great chat earlier. Just wanted to check in where you are in your head right now and let that sink in a bit. Any questions or hesitations I can clear for you right now. The best line I use is, where's your head at? And where do you think we can move forward from here? What it does for them is that I am giving you the decision making power. You tell me where both of us should go from here. Just do that much. Give them the baton. You have to do that. And pricing adjustment, it's simple as that. Don't pretend like you're giving a discount. You can just say like, hey, I appreciate the honesty. Maybe they don't have the budget. I'll be honest with you right back. It sounds like the accelerator is a really good fit for you, which are included for free. I never do this. Make them feel like special, like it's their birthday. Give them the best gift. It is a money thing. I can send you the link to grab it at 497 instead of 777, which was a Black Friday price that ended. Make them feel like, oh, you're giving me the discount which has even expired. I'm so happy that I landed up with you. I'd love to have you on the live call on Monday. No pressure, but I see how serious you are and I truly want to help you out. Simple, fantastic. Go from frozen to the hot boiling stage and make your prospects win. So, this is all from me with Sell by Chat. Go on my website, go on my LinkedIn profile, or go anywhere in the social media platform. I am there everywhere. I try to spread my hands everywhere. Check the website out, it has everything. That's it. It has all the things that you will ever need to close money in the DMs. I hope this video really helped you. Really appreciate you for sticking out for so long. And just make a pinky promise with me. If you book a call or if you close a client with this, you come back to me, you DM me, anyhow, find me. I am always there. I am the one, I don't have a VA at all. I am the one responding back. Come to me and just say, hey, Vidya, this happened. I'll really add you up to my one on one community there at 50% off. It really is. It's 50% off, and you will be there for lifetime. I would really love to help you out to move more and fast. Cheers.